Wow, I've got a lot of history behind me on this forgiveness issue. I'm going to get teary-eyed on you because we've had a lot in the family this week. We've had another death in our family, and we're going through a lot, and God's been gracious to us. I was adopted at 5 months old by a sister who took me away from her youngest sister. Jeremiah 29:11 is definitely my life verse. That is one God has planted in my heart because He truly had a plan for my life, and it was not where I was, and it was where I was supposed to be when I was adopted. However, in that adoption, I was also brought into a situation where there were 2 special needs sons that were born. One of them died at 4 months old. One of them died at 23. The one that died at 23, I was a senior in high school. I was supposed to be at the height of happiness and having a ball and graduating, and I had a mother who was very bitter. Kind of as a sidestep, and I won't go into it. Our minds can go there. Let's just suffice it to say my mother had a very hellish childhood. She dealt with an alcoholic father, and there was physical abuse of several kinds. So I'm being raised by this woman who wants different for her life, who's trying to show me different, but she's trying to heal herself. And she's losing her son, and then she loses another son. And in the meantime, she's got this free spirit here going, let's live life. And that was hard for me. It was hard for her. She was trying to deal with her son, and as he was passing away and grieving of him, and I'm trying to move into adulthood and celebrate life and move on. There was a lot. There was a lot of pain between me and her. There was some emotional abuse that I struggled with. I took it to heart. I took it personally. What's wrong with me? What have I done? How can I fix this? When you are in a situation like that as a child, you have to realize, and we tell our kids all this time, I've done youth ministry. It's not you. But when you're the kid, it feels like you. I was not active in church. Mom couldn't take me. I had a special needs brother that was basically bedbound. Home was my life. Home and school, that was it. When I turned 20 and moved out on my own, I discovered life and friends. I got very heavily involved in a singles ministry. And here in Fayetteville at New Hope, we had a very active singles ministry. And God and I met one-on-one. And I began my healing journey. He had to pull me apart from her so I could begin to see things and heal. As that journey started for me, she then slammed the door and said, "It's me or." And I said, "I'm not choosing. I want you in my life. Not going to happen. It's me or." And I said, "Mom, I love you, but I'm not choosing." And the silence started. I was not allowed to call. I wasn't allowed to come over. There was abandonment. There was some true abandonment. A lot of really hard things happened for me. And I clung to my singles group. I clung to that ministry and to God, trying to make sense. And when you're in that, nothing makes sense. But you're trying so hard to make sense out of it. I spent the next 15 years of my life going through pastoral counseling, professional counseling, trying to figure some stuff out. Here I am. I'm a professional. I'm a dental hygienist, so I'm trying to work with the public and trying to be a professional. And I'm trying to learn a whole lot of stuff. God was very gracious through that journey. A lot of really neat things happened in my life. And God just kept showing me, here's this, I'm giving you this, I'm taking you through this, and I'm holding your hand. And I think there's even a verse, and I forget where it was, but I heard it at a Joyce Meyer's conference where God clearly spoke to me. And that verse was, even if your mother and father forsake you, I am here. Well, of course I lost it. I lost it. And I'm like, God, you're so real to me. And he became more real to me as that journey continued. Fast forward, I'm 35. I met the love of my life, Richard. And God began to heal me in a different way because there were some other things that I had struggled with emotionally and trust issues because Not only had mom put me aside, my father had then abandoned me also. He wanted nothing to do with me, and that was very painful for us girls. That's extremely painful when daddy says, go away, I don't want nothing to do with you. But the tape player kept playing. Her father had abused her. She didn't have a healthy relationship. Dad had dealt with what my mom had dealt with, trying to help her in their marriage. And so I had to depend on God to teach me a new way, because I didn't have parents to teach me how to have a healthy marriage. God had to teach me how to have a healthy marriage, and I'm so thankful he did. Richard and I got married. Parents were not at my wedding. A lot of drama happened there too. And I finally was able to say, and I think I've heard people say this before, hurting people hurt other people. For not forgiving people. How does it go, Ron? I know you've heard this. Forgiving the person it frees you. It doesn't free the person you're not forgiving. It frees you. And I finally came to that reality that I needed to be free. I needed to let go. I was finally able to kind of sever the emotional tie, and I had to walk away. I had a new marriage. God had called me into a covenant marriage. I owed it to him. I didn't owe it to my parents anymore. He had moved me on. And I felt like I had abandoned them. And of course, you go through all these new issues. And so, people look at my life and go, oh, you've got it so together. It's been one hard, painful, emotional journey the whole time. But thank God, he has held my hand. He has never forsaken me. And he keeps showing me, and he keeps reminding me I have a plan, and I'm right here, and I have not walked away from you. And he has so faithfully shown up in everything in my life. And then in the middle of a 25-year marriage, we get the phone call. Dad died. Okay, which is our biggest fear. Something was going to happen, and we would not be notified of it. God orchestrated all of that too. And we laugh now and say sometimes God has to move certain things out of the way. Unfortunately, severe dementia was involved. We have kind of come to the realization dementia was our friend. People go, oh, that's so horrible. My mother would not have let me take care of her. Had she not had dementia, I would never have gotten the gift that God gave me and the honor to take care of her. She had to forget so that I could step forward and take her and be there and love on her and support her the way she needed to be loved and supported at 86 years old with no concept of where to go from here. And totally deaf. She had no hearing ability at all, full dementia, physical ailments, and it just kept going. I tell you all this, and I'll tell you now, I'm an open book. I don't mind anybody walking up to me and go, I got some questions. I will tell you everything, because God has healed me through this. God is very gracious to me. He's very gracious to our family. My biggest prayer going through this was, please let Mom receive that love, because she was a person who had been hurt so deeply she'd never learned to receive. I want to be the person who can give it, but God is also having to teach me how to receive. One of the things Richard and I've talked about, and I asked him recently, I said, do I tend to throw these walls up? And he said, sometimes you do, but you learned it. And sometimes you have to know when that wall goes up, you have to recognize it and pull it back down on purpose. The verse keeps coming to my mind, delight yourself in the Lord and he will give you the desires of your heart. Ron said it. It's not cars and houses. If you delight yourself in God and you bury your life in him and you submit to him at the deepest part of your heart, he takes that and he now places desires in you that will bring to fruition his plans for your life, the people he needs you to touch. He brings all that into place and he puts you at peace. He gives you an understanding that you can't fathom. He gives you a peace that surpasses even knowledge and understanding. And all you can say is, but God. That's all you can say. And that's where I'm at now. We've had a hard month. It's been a very sweet month. And then thinking about what you were talking about earlier, you do have to guard your heart. There were times dealing with Mom, I could just leave you here and just, nope, it's not what God's called me to do. I could not feed you or not take care of you because you're dementia. Satan comes at you with the thoughts and you're going, Elizabeth, you thought that. It crossed my mind because he took my past and brought it forward and said, let's discuss this. And I said, no, we're not discussing the past. We're right here. God said to serve her. Christ came to serve. He didn't come to be served. My mother is here to be served by me so that I can learn how to serve. I can learn how to forgive, and God can continue to use me and be glorified in the earth. And he can do it with you too. That was 40 years. If I go back and add it up for my sister, it was 45. My mother did not speak to me for 38 years. And people go, oh, she didn't. She didn't. But God knew the ending. And it's very sweet. I don't know what you're struggling with. I don't know what you're dealing with. And you say, God hasn't answered me. Maybe it's not been 38 years yet. Maybe your answer's not here yet. But I promise you, he has not forsaken you. He has not walked away from you. He has not forgotten you. He still loves you. And he's still a good father. And he has a plan. Just trust him.